Guys, welcome back. So today we're going to look at another iron in the category we've been examining a little bit more recently, which is in the super game improvement, maximum forgiveness, call it maximum distance as well.
For sure, yeah.
We're going to look at the Cobra Speedzone.
Yeah, definitely a different looking iron, different shaping, and really noticeable kind of the techie little touches they've done with this top here, which I'm assuming is supposed to look like carbon fiber. What testing have you guys done in the shop with it so far? Anything? Any fits?
Yeah, we've only had it in a couple of weeks, but obviously due to the lofts, there is a very select customer that you would use this with, so it isn't going to be a head that we pull out the drawer all the time. You know, obviously the stronger lofts are not going to be for everyone, and that was kind of part of our thinking today. I think when we were talking about maybe doing this one is we have to frame who this is for. For sure. And we also have to frame who it's not for.
Yes.
You know, lofts have been getting stronger and stronger all the time, and obviously distance has become maybe spoken about a little too much with irons.
I think it's fair.
But the thing that intrigued you and I about this one is just the price of it relative to the other irons around it. You hit that Concept 01 phenomenally well a couple of weeks ago.
Such a nice iron, and I think they would consider it to be super game improvement.
Definitely.
At least game improvement,
yeah,
right?
If we look at the kind of shape of those two
you've
irons,
got them there anyway.
You probably wouldn't see them all that far apart.
True enough. Yeah, you know, especially sole width as well.
Sole width and even kind of, you know, this one's encased, but you know that one's got the cavities. It's not that different.
Very true.
There are customers who will benefit from that, but at the you know.
This is a Ferrari, basically.
$500 USD price point versus, you know, these guys run for about, I think it's $800 a set in the US.
So you're paying $125 a club, basically.
It's a completely different thing. So, guys, we understand that this isn't going to be an iron that's for everyone. A 24-degree 6 iron is effectively where we have seen 4 iron traditionally. So if your progression in your iron set, like it is for me, is 21 in the 3 iron, 24 in the 4 iron, 27 in the 5 iron, and 30 in the 6 iron. This is a 4 iron.
Yeah, it's a 4 iron. So it's a different world. We know that for sure. What I'm curious about is are we going to see a situation where you can still get enough height on the ball with that super strong loft? Because obviously there's a lot of center of gravity movement backwards. So have they done enough to compensate for that to get the ball up in the air?
Yep, exactly right. There's actually some really neat features in the sole as well.
Yeah, talk to me about that, because it does look different.
You look at it and you think that's a really meaty sole, and there's lots of mass down there, which it is, and that's kind of what's pulling the CG down in order to compensate for the reduction in loft. But when you actually examine the sole further, there is a sort of a framing to the sole. So there's a raised part in the middle, so the low point is actually very small.
So effective sole isn't that big.
Effective sole width is actually very, very thin. So that's something, as we talk about all the time, sole and turf interaction, sole sort of efficiency through the strike. This is going to be very, very effective, because if you are shallow, your low point is close to the ball, which means obviously as you come down and kind of enter the ground, if that is close to the ball, you'll hit a lot of shots fat if there's too much sole mass there. But this should allow you to get a little bit of protection against that.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to do a little different, well, sort of, test today.
Average speed to start with.
85 miles an hour.
85 miles an hour. So something around about there that, you know, obviously a lot of people can relate to. And then we'll have some fun.
Just hit some roasty 6 irons out there, rotisseries. Okay.
Yeah. So thinking about 160 yards is about the average 6 iron.
Gotcha. And then we'll see if that swing speed is around there. Can we get a little more distance out of it given the...
That's a lovely little opener there, Matty boy.
So good.
So good. So as we go along, Matty, what we're really looking to see with any kind of iron is obviously angle of descent, peak height, you know, all those sorts of things that we're looking for. The one thing we know we will get with this is efficiency. We will always be efficient with it.
It's very high.
It's very, very high. Tons of ball speed. Interestingly, you're retaining plenty of spin so far with it.
Yep.
Golf ball related. We
picked the right ball.
Yep. So, you know, we're not just going into a case with an iron like this and throwing down a left dash Pro V1 because
it's just
a
poor choice.
That's not going to make sense at that speed.
So the RB2RX is one that worked really well for Ronnie and his fit too to get, because he had the same situation.
Yeah.
He needed a little bit more backspin and it did a great job. So it's doing it again.
So it's probably a while since we have mentioned this, but you know, a nice little club fitting hack for the fitters out there. And even the people who are evaluating their own ball flight. Your club head speed, try to match your club head speed with a 6-iron to the apex of your height. As long as you're within a few, you know, of that, you know, let me call it, you know, less than 3 or 4 either way, you're absolutely fine. So you're at 81 and 75 feet.
Cool.
Okay, so I wouldn't be all that concerned right now.
So is that's a cool way of evaluating whether there's enough ball speed, launch and spin and descent angle.
Just something I've seen over the years of doing this. When we get the customer's numbers in a really good spot, swinging average speed like you are, you know, 81 to 85. Generally speaking, when I'm really happy with them towards the end of the fit and they've got the right club in their hand, there's a real correlation to that club head speed to 6-iron and the apex on the flight.
That's cool.
It's lovely. A little feathered in there.
A little soft, but close.
It's all right.
Probably swing a shade faster on that.
So the player who's using this, right now you are doing a phenomenal job at kind of replicating that player. Shallow, delivers a decent amount of loft. Maybe not hitting it, you know, the first two were great strikes, but that one strayed the little toe side.
It's going to stray, obviously.
Yeah, but you've retained all your efficiency. So we have no issue with that. Again, good height. I can see the apex is good. That's, you know,
still over 70.
Over 70, 73. It's good. And the only reason that was down, actually, your launch and spin were great.
Yeah.
Above your average, you just dropped your speed.
Yep, just a bit less club head speed. Yeah, good point.
Okay, so just up that speed a fraction and we'll be in good shape. That's lovely.
A little more speed on that. Yeah, that should be good.
Really nice. Okay, so we're going to try something here. We had a dynamic gold shaft for you while you were hitting a few of those. We're going to put in like a shaft that would be very appropriate for the player who's trying to match up to that head and maybe at the speed you're swinging. So we're going to go NIPPON 850. Going to go super light on this one.
Does the 850 mean that it's 85
grams?
Okay, and a regular flex?
Mm-hmm. So I want to see how much difference you get if you do have a shaft that's clearly lighter, softer.
Get a little bit more club head speed maybe or something?
See what you get, yeah. Okay. See if you get any contribution on the height. Sounded really nice.
It's definitely better. I mean, there's no doubt that something lighter like this, when you're trying to, I mean, I'm trying to swing at that speed.
Yeah.
But in making that motion, something lighter like that just feels like a lot less effort.
To make less effort. I'm so glad that you've said that, because it's exactly what was running through my mind with regards to why someone would be gaming this shaft over something else. Yeah. It purely comes down to a lot less effort. Nice.
That was nice. Maybe a couple of grooves low, but otherwise really good.
That sounded really nice.
That was a much better strike.
Very nice.
It's a lovely one.
Got a wee chance.
Get in. Oh.
Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Okay, I'm going to go back to this dynamic gold, because this has turned into a different type of test. This has turned into a little bit more intriguing than we thought, because you're having a really hard time keeping your launch angle up with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. A couple of them have been okay, but mostly it's gone back the other way.
That's lovely. That is lovely. Why does that pin keep moving left?
I know.
Yeah, got away with it.
Yeah, it was a shade heavy, actually.
Got away with it. Okay, one more.
That's good.
Yeah, it's nice. Really nice. All right, you wanna roast a couple?
Sure, yeah.
All right, so we've kind of looked at the delivery that this player would be sort of catering for, and now we're just looking for the player who's looking for all-out distance. Someone with speed.
A little bit of fun.
Yeah.
A little bit of fun. Well, Ricky was using this as a driving iron.
And that's the thing. So it is being used by players when they can use the sort of functionality of it just purely for distance. I mean,
totally.
When we were out in Oceanside back in December and we popped over to see the Cobra boys and they were telling the stories of how far Ricky was flying this thing, or it was the previous model, but he was flying at like 270, they were saying.
Crazy. And same thing with like TaylorMade guys, a couple of them using a sim, Rom's using a sim iron.
Right. Yeah, Nick Taylor used it at Pebble the other week.
All right, let's hammer a couple.
Let's give. Lovely. Nice, comfortable 213 in the air.
Clanged off the toe and it's just fine.
So funny.
Ooh. It sounds like crazy fast.
Good, darn it. The sounds nice.
Good, yeah. Oi! Okay, one more swing and then we'll be done. Even that's a Healy low push.
Yeah.
138 ball speed. Or 137. Mm-hmm. Wild.
Can you hit it better than that?
Probably not.
Tell you what, it's plenty of height.
I'm going to tip my hat on that. We got other stuff to do today.
It's good, 144.
Okay, so it's on the planet. It's fast. Because I can swing my 6-iron 102, 103 at times, and there's no way in hell you're getting 144.
Look at that, 144, 16 launch, just under 4,900, but it's at
130 feet in the air.
Jeez. And it's very much like when we hit, obviously, Sim.
Yes. Right.
When we hit Sim Max down at the Kingdom, and it was retaining all sorts of sort of height and launch.
It was miles in the air.
Miles. So again, there are players who hit it that high who aren't necessarily trying to stop it with spin.
True.
Who need as much protection across the face on miss hits as they can.
Yeah, we mixed in some.
In some strikes, not in the centre. There's some good ones as well, but that's the reality of golf for some people.
16 yards for free.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, I mean, the more important thing obviously is for the person we were doing most of the tests for.
Yeah.
It's quite a good iron. I think it looks, really nice at address compared to what it could for the size of it.
Yeah.
The sole seems to perform pretty well, and it gives you the height. And with the correct golf ball, it gives you the spin you need. You just need to be pretty aware that you need to probably play a higher spin ball.
So let's compare.
The
shafts. I wouldn't mind comparing those two. Yeah. Those two shafts and seeing what we saw. And
that is really interesting.
Yeah, so the X7,
which does not fit this particular person.
We're not recommending people at 81 miles an hour go out and use X7s.
It is, but it was very, very worth doing though.
It is fascinating to see that the launch is coming out 2 degrees lower with a Nippon 850 than it would do with an X7.
So one thing I noticed was I was pretty prone to hitting the Nippon a bit thin.
A little bit thin, yeah.
And I think that the strike pattern shows that. So that's enough to bring the launch down, isn't it?
Enough to tilt the head enough. Yeah, it's going to tilt the loft down a little bit. Obviously, we can see the delivered loft is fractionally less.
But swung it a little bit faster.
Whether it was for your similar effort, you were obviously able to cruise the 85 gram shaft a little quicker, but
on the lie, so it drooped a little more.
Drooped 1.1 degrees more.
That's really cool.
So that again, another thing. The shaft, guys. The shaft does not move in sort of one axis. It's moving in multiple planes.
Right.
So it's kind of either contributing to the loss or gain of loft, and it's also contributing to the change in sort of dynamic lie angle.
Right.
So in this case, X7 wasn't moving, so you were retaining loft, and the club was staying more toe up. When you went to Nippon, you actually were delivering less loft, and you were obviously more toe down.
Just shows why you gotta get in for a fit and test them out.
And you got to know these numbers. You can't avoid these numbers anymore.
No,
and true. you can't get away with the old sort of stale methods of club fitting. You have to be using this type of technology now in order to get the right information.
No, you're quantifying it, right?
Yeah, yep. You're not guessing at any part of it.
Yeah, I love it. This was really actually turned out to be quite an interesting little test.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a good iron for the clientele who needs what we've described as, you know, a little bit more distance protection and off-center strikes. They get a little bit scoopy, maybe they're a little too shallow, the back foot hitter, those types of players.
Absolutely. And good price point, and it looks good.
Definitely.
I think it's a good option.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sweet.
Guys, obviously, you know, we don't want to jump all over the whole distance topic and just beat that dead horse. We're all sick and tired of discussing the fact that irons have gotten stronger. We know that, but it's not for no reason. You know, once you get in a room with these engineers at these companies, and I'm talking about the engineers and not the marketing teams.
That's a big difference.
Right? There's a big difference with that. When you get in with the engineers and we start talking about what they see in their market research, and you know, these guys are not silly. They're not stupid people. They're doing this stuff for a reason.
Yep.
You know, there's the SPEEZONE that we're testing, but they also have a full range for everyone else.
Got up to a blade in the Cobra does.
So don't judge this one against the other ones, because you've got other irons in sort of other parts of you know, the company that are more suitable if this isn't your deal.
Yeah, I think that's really well said.
Okay. All right, more to come, guys. We'll see you again soon.